Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Hugo. I own a fully online social media marketing agency, and I kind of operate it whilst traveling the world and meeting different business owners, meeting different people, and connecting with different entrepreneurs along my journey. And here today, we'll be talking about how and when to hire for your SMMA. And this also extends so far to, coaching businesses, consulting businesses, and, other agencies. So let's dive right in and talk about, how and when to hire. Before you hire, you need to take a look at your business. And for those of you who've been following for a long time, I always preach, having one problem or solving one problem, serving one niche, and providing one service. So this is super crucial before you go on to hire, because first of all, what this does is this enables you to be exceptionally good at operating in one specific niche, understanding the problems and difficulties that business owners face in that niche, and therefore when you hire, you're pretty fully aware of what needs to be done and able to improve the client experience or enable you to get more clients in that niche, right? So if you're providing a lot of different services which are very scattered, like Facebook ads, TikTok ads, all scattered across the board, this makes it kind of difficult to hire people, specifically for one job. Okay, so if you have one job, one problem that you're solving, one niche that you're solving, hiring that one person just makes that super streamlined and makes it super easy to scale. All right, so before you guys hire, make sure that you guys have this down, refine your offer and your service to serve one niche and to solve one type of problem. All right, so now let's move on to the next slide. So the next slide is pretty important. It's recognizing fat in your business and slimming it down. So recognizing, which parts of your business, do you have fat on, and which parts of the business you need to lean down, slim down in order to, function well, scale well, and move on to the next level and scale, to your 6-figure months or even 7-figure years, right? So take a look at what's holding you back, right? Before you hire, take a look at, what's a bottleneck, what's a struggle that's, preventing you to, getting to that next level, or, when you're stuck at a plateau, is hiring someone going to make you break through that plateau? And secondly is, will hiring move me closer to my goal? For most of you, yes, but how does it move you closer to your goal? And what moving pieces does hiring bring to the business, which could result in more complications? This is something that a lot of people don't pay attention to. Hiring most of the times are great for your businesses, right? Sometimes it might be a double-edged sword. It might introduce more problems into your business because it's another moving part, right? You want your business to be as slim as possible, as streamlined as possible, as lean as possible, right? So how does this affect your margins? Right? Will this affect your scaling in any type of way? SMMA is a business model known for high margins, and that's why I love it so much. But will hiring someone, cause your profit margins to go from 90% to 70%? That's a big chunk of your money, and that's a big chunk of your, monthly expenses, which you could be, pouring into ads to get more leads and get more clients and get more calls, right? So take a look at your business and write these down and ask yourself these questions, because these are the type of questions that I asked myself before I was making my first few hires. So now let's move on to the next slide, which is ask yourself, is it a time constraint or a money constraint? Right? For most of you guys out there who are watching my videos, you guys probably have more time on your hands than money. So having that time, focus on, getting good at a type of skill. And that makes it really easy to hire because you know what type of things that you're looking for. And also when you're interviewing someone, it makes them less likely to, scam you or touch wood if they're kind of like, lying about their expertise. You can call that shit as it is. It gives you a better eye, if you get good at a skill, to really make that hiring process more enjoyable and that hiring process more quick or more streamlined. So get good at one skill if you guys have more time, and then you hire someone to really take over that. So let's say you're running a Facebook ad business. Learn the basics of Facebook ads, and then maybe if you get kind of good at Facebook ads, hire someone or hire a media buyer to take over your Facebook ads. And then you get good at another skill, get good at sales. All right, once you get good at sales and you start getting a lot of book calls, hire someone to take over the sales and closing role. Rinse and repeat, right? This is all about getting good at something, having that skill in your back pocket, and then getting good at another one. All right, skills are so important, and that's why investing in trainings and investing in programs are such a great way to really increase that leverage and make yourself a great and high performing business owner. All right, so that is the second point that I wanted to talk about. And now I want to talk a little bit about my experience with hiring, which is, currently we have 5 employees. Currently for our agency, we have a total of 7 people, 5 employees. So we have an appointment setter for cold email, and this guy also does it for LinkedIn. So he kind of does 2 jobs at once. We have a cold caller as well in the US who's doing cold calls for us. We also have a lead finder, so that kind of links back to the cold caller. So lead finder finds leads, on email and also on phones. He funnels that into our LinkedIn appointment setter. He funnels that into our cold email appointment setter, and he also funnels it to the cold caller. So as you guys can see already from here, there's a lot of moving pieces and there's a lot of communication channels which need to take place in order to make this a high functioning business, right? Making sure that the employees are, well kept, they're happy as well, they're communicating on a daily basis. The synchronization is great, they have good synergy, and also making sure that I'm informed on what the daily process is, what's happening on a daily basis. We also have a media buyer for Facebook ads. One of you guys asked me on YouTube, do I handle all the media buying and Facebook ads for myself, or do I have someone do it for me? And my answer is I personally handle the Facebook ads for all of the higher paying clients, all of the clients who are paying, 9K plus per month. I handle the media buying side of things because I tend to be more passionate about those. For the other clients that we're helping out, people who are paying 3K, 4K, even 6K per month, I get either Adrian, the CMO, to do it or the media buyer to do that for them, depending on what type of ad that they want to do. Because sometimes, whilst we're working through a 3-month contract, a lot of these clients ask us to, take over their TikTok ads. And, I always preach, having one niche, having one offer, one service, but don't shy away from other opportunities. So that's why it's also important to be prepared, having that, ammunition in your pocket. When clients do ask you for another type of service that they want from you, I would get Adrian to do it because Adrian is just a beast at all of the other platforms. He's great at Pinterest ads, TikTok ads. So we have him handle the media buying for those side of things, but we have one general media buyer for Facebook, and I handle all the Facebook ads for all of the whale clients that we have and bring on in the agency. And also we hired someone for client satisfaction, so someone who takes care of all the clients on a daily basis. So let's say if a client has some questions that they want to ask us, we have him take care of that. And, it's pretty much all covered now. Okay. We have, we have hires for getting, leads, getting clients, getting calls, getting more calls on my calendar. That's what the appointment setter is for. Also the cold caller. The lead finder is the foundation of everything. He gets the leads, he finds all the leads. The LinkedIn prospector, the cold caller, and the appointment setter, are layers on top of that, which stack on top of the lead finder. So for everything to work well, the lead finder must perform well, right? A lot of things to take into account when you're hiring. The media buyer and client satisfaction goes hand in hand, right? If the media buyer isn't performing well, the client satisfaction guy is going to get a lot of trouble. There also needs to be the same wavelength of communication between the client satisfaction guy and the media buyer guy. They need to be in tune with what's happening, right? So if the media buyer is running a Father's Day campaign, and the client satisfaction guy doesn't know about it, and our client asks our client satisfaction guy, hey Jeremy, just making sure, are we running a Father's Day campaign today or tomorrow? And the client satisfaction guy doesn't know when it is, then it just makes everything out of sync and just makes the experience less enjoyable for the client and makes it seem as you're less professional. So that's another very important thing. So there are two scenarios when you're making a hire or when you're just about to make your hire. Is first of all, when you're hiring people to take on tasks which are already being done. So let's say you're doing cold email and you're getting pretty good at it, and it's time for you to move your time, spend your time on more higher priority tasks. So that's when you make that hire for that cold email. Fully hammer down that nail on the table, making sure that it's tight, and then moving on to the next thing, which spending your time will be more profitable on, right? And number two is hiring people to take on tasks which aren't being done, which needs to be done in order to grow. All right, so this might be something like running paid ads. Once you get to maybe like 20K per month, might be the time to start running some paid ads to your funnel and getting some leads on autopilot. That's something that most of you guys might be considering. Also, we teach this in the Wi-Fi Money Masterclass. When I help you guys get to that 20K per month mark, it's time to run some ads. That's when you either do that yourself, want to learn that yourself, which I did when I first started out. I learned ins and outs of building a funnel, building a VSL. And after running ads for a month or two, you can start making that higher. Personally, our agency have Adrian doing that at the moment because he's also great at funnels. He's just an absolute beast. So these are the two scenarios which most of you guys are facing. And now let's take a look at two other scenarios. So these are the second two, which is striking the balance between, which is hiring someone which is slightly unqualified, but you can train them, which takes more time on your plate, okay? And secondly, someone who is probably very qualified, but is asking for a lot of money. So what we do for all our employees is that we find that balance. Our appointment setter, okay, our cold email appointment setter has years of experience in, appointment setting for, businesses and agencies, but he's never operated in that social media marketing niche yet. So therefore, I can train him and give him the ins and outs of social media marketing, and he just does what he does based on the input that I give him and the information that I give him. And I also go through, common objections that a lot of people go through before they book a call with us, making sure that he believes in our offer, getting your appointment setters to believe in your service, and getting even your sales reps to believe in your service, and having extreme belief in your service is a key to having them sign on and getting more calls on your calendar. So getting belief in them, making sure that they're informed about the ins and outs of social media marketing. I wrote a list of common objections that people have, and I sent that over to them. For every meeting that he books for me, and for every meeting that I close, he gets 40%. That's an insanely high, commission, but he's great at what he does. And I don't mind giving him 40% because, first of all, this is a monthly thing. So he takes, 40% of the first month's retainer, and the following months is just to do with the client delivery. And since I'm really confident in our client delivery and our service, that's not a problem for me, because I know that we'll sign them on for longer. So that's the kind of area that we're in right now when we're making that hires. We get someone who's very qualified but really haven't, performed in our niche yet. I would personally coach them on the social media side of things, and they just do their job. So when you guys are looking for employees and for hires and contractors, make sure that you strike that balance. And the next thing is, a lot of people don't even know where to hire or where to employ. So Upwork is really good. Upwork.com, you can make a post there and start hiring people. Fiverr is also really good. Onlinejobs.ph is super nice. I use that personally as well, and you can get really nice hires for quite cheap labor there. And also Facebook groups. Okay, posting in your local Facebook group. Find people who are near you, who are decent in what they do, and you can also perhaps train them. Right? Personal Networks Adrian, the CMO, is actually one of my best friends. Right? We actually worked together on our dropshipping stores, and he was a beast at running ads as well, and on multiple platforms, and that's why I have him as a CMO. Right? So if you can hire someone, or if you can work together with someone, that's also a great way to go about it. Next thing is contracts. So is it necessary to have a contract? So let's go through that in the next 2 slides. So let's split into 2, right? Contracts for clients and contracts for employees. So for clients first is a must. Okay, so this is a story that happened to me personally, and this burned me quite a lot. And I'm just gonna be completely transparent with you guys. So we worked with a brand. I'm not going to mention his name or the brand at all, but we worked with a brand like a couple months ago, and we signed him on. He paid the invoice, but he didn't sign the contract. So we were like, okay, maybe he just needs like a week or 2 to actually sign the contract. He already paid, so there's that commitment there already, so he should probably sign. We followed up with him a couple times, and we actually went on with the service delivery, so we communicated with him every day. But whenever we asked him to sign a contract, he would just kind of ignore it. He would always shy away from the contract, never really sign it. Like we'd be like, hey man, do you mind signing the contract today? He would just ask another question and diverge our attention away from it by asking, oh, is the Christmas campaign out yet? I'd love to have this on and this on. And this was the first sign that he was like a really shitty client. He was not like that at all on the sales call. And 1 month after the service delivery, he just sent me an email. He's saying that, and what he did was he looked at all our campaigns and he studied it himself, and therefore he terminated. He would be working with someone else, but then he ended up doing everything himself after that. He just learned what we did and just let those campaigns run on, right? So it's always really important to set up a contract, make sure it's crystal clear, like agreed upon expectations, what you're going to be doing for them, and also what they're going to be doing for you, right? There's also work that needs to be done on their side, right? Contract duration, how many months or years are you guys going to be working together for? And also payment expectations, when the payment date should be due, right? If they don't pay on that payment date, then what's the additional charge, and when are you going to charge them that additional fee? Make sure that you guys cover all of these in your contracts, and make sure all your clients do sign a contract with you. Next off is contracts for employees, which is optional. But I personally don't send any contracts to my employees. They just get the job done and I just pay them by the end of the month. I prefer it to be that way. It's also really important that you guys set the expectations, right? Know that your employees should know what they're expected to do, and they all should also know what you're expected to do. I'm expected to train them, and they're expected to perform their job at a satisfactory level. Those are the type of commitments that you guys need to be putting down on paper, but you do not need to have a contract for that. You just need to make sure that they know what they need to do, and you should know what you need to do. And the last thing is firing. So if for some reason that your employee isn't performing up to par, then you got to fire them. You just need to let them know and be completely honest. This doesn't just apply to firing. Even if you guys are working together, you need to be completely honest with them. They should know what's going on, and you shouldn't lie about your numbers. A lot of business owners love to gas themselves up and make it seem to the employees that they're this really high performing business owner, that they're great at everything. They're not here to rub your ego. They're here to work for you and get the job done to scale your business. All right, so be completely transparent about the numbers that you're doing, and making sure that your employees are fully informed about the ins and outs of your business. So let's go back to firing now. So, if you're firing and they're not performing well, you need to let them go, right? If they're as of now, for my agency, My expectations for my appointment setter is that we close 2 clients per month. And yeah, I do need to close them myself. You know, he just gets them on the calendar. But if we don't close 2 per month, like for 1 consecutive month, that's the margin I give him. Like if he misses out on 1 month, I'm gonna have to find someone else. I'm just gonna have to be like, hey man, it's not working out. This is not satisfactory performance. I'm sorry to let you go, but I wish you the best of luck, and you have to look for a job somewhere else. And a good employee will fully understand that. He'll take full responsibility and be like, I get it, man. I get it. My performance wasn't up to par, and I wish you the best. Right? So you just need to be completely transparent. And if you need to fire, do fire. And if they're sad about it or emotional about it, that's their issue, because you guys have an agreed upon expectation. So that marks the end of this video, guys. Hopefully I gave you some more clarity on when and how to hire someone, where to hire people. Like always, guys, work hard, stay strong, and I'll see you guys in the next video.